We're live again for an all-new edition of Locked On Yankees. Find out about the big move for George Lombard Jr., and we'll recap the series against the Rays. Let's get started.
You are Locked On Yankees, your daily New York Yankees podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Yankees, which is part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thank you for making us your first listen every day. I'm Stacey Gotsulias. This episode is brought to you by Monarch Money. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. Brian is on his way back from England. Literally, he's on the plane right now as I record this at 1:01 p.m. on Monday, so he will be back for Tuesday's show. Before we get started, don't forget, subscribe to Locked On Yankees on whichever podcasting platform you prefer. Subscribe to our channel on YouTube, like our videos, hit the bell so you're notified whenever our videos go live. On today's show, we preview the Yankees Padres series if it gets played, because it's raining in the Northeast and it's supposed to rain for the next 6 days. We'll see how that goes. It's Minors Monday. We have a big promotion to talk about and some rehab updates to talk about from down in the minors. But first, let's recap the second series loss in a row for the Yankees to an AL East opponent. Not a very good showing by our Yankees. And let's start with the really bad stuff first. We'll go to Sunday's game because it's fresh in our minds less than 24 hours later. Will Warren still struggling to get through starts. And the most frustrating thing about it is he does have good stuff. He had 8 strikeouts in those 4 2/3 innings that he pitched. But he's also the type of pitcher, he reminds me of Phil Hughes a lot in a way when Phil Hughes was with the Yankees as a starter, because he was good in the bullpen. As a starter, Phil Hughes had the issue of getting guys to 0-2 and either walking them, giving up a big hit, giving up a home run. Will Warren seems to be the same way. And as I just said, he did have 8 strikeouts, but there were a few instances where he would get to 0-2, either couldn't put the batter away right away, and he'd have to throw 4 or 5 more pitches to get the out, or he'd give up a hit. It's just really frustrating to watch. It was also frustrating to watch how no one was going out to help him or talk to him at any point. And I think we all knew that the Yankees were going to try to get him through as many innings as he possibly could get. He threw a career high. It was over 100 pitches in those 4 2/3 innings. But I was wondering why Matt Blake wasn't going out to talk to him, why they weren't trying to at least calm him down at any point. I think Will Warren can be a serviceable MLB starter. He's just going through some rough patches right now. But when you really only have 2 reliable starters in the rotation, Max Fried, Carlos Rodon, we'll be talking about Fried in a moment, it's difficult to let him go through those growing pains because it messes with the rest of the rotation. Because of that, Carlos Carrasco had to pitch, and, he had some issues too, but he helped out the bullpen a bit because they didn't have to go to the good guys in the bullpen to try and finish that game. Now, the Yankees weren't looking good offensively. They finally got things going toward the end of the game. It wasn't enough, which was also frustrating. Aaron Judge's streaks are still intact. He got that hit later in the game. I was a little worried for him because he wasn't hitting the ball. Cody Bellinger hit his 200th career home run, got the Yankees into it in the game. But again, the pitching just was not there on Sunday. And I just feel bad for Will Warren because, as I said, he does have strikeout stuff. Some of his pitches are absolutely nasty, but he really needs to be able to put it together where, as I said, gets to 0-2, and then he has to either pitch a couple of more times in order to get the out, or he gives up a hit. So it's frustrating. It was a frustrating game to watch. And the other thing I'll talk about briefly about Sunday's game before we move on to Friday, because Friday was the fun game. Boone's pinch hitting decision in the 8th. While you were watching it, you were probably thinking to yourself, what is he doing? Jeff Nelson tried to explain to it on the show, and I think the fact that Anthony Volpe wasn't healthy enough to be pinch hit or to pinch hit in the game I think that had something to do with it. I think there could have been another way for Boone to work that. I don't know. I don't understand what he was doing there. Like, did it really do anything to the game? Sort of, because Ben Rice comes in, nothing gets done. Then Wells comes in the top of the inning to catch. They move Escar to third. They take Oswaldo Cabrera out of the game. I don't know. Also, starting Pablo Reyes over Jorbit Bibas, like, why are we doing this? Bibas is better. He gets on base. If he's not getting on base with a hit, he got his first career hit this weekend. If he's not getting on base with a hit, at least he has better plate discipline than Pablo Reyes. I don't understand what the Yankees are doing there. So frustrating game on Sunday, frustrating end to the series. But let's talk about the beginning of the series, because Max Fried, better than advertised. He is better than advertised. I don't know how he's doing what he's doing, but he was incredible on Friday night. It was a pleasure to watch him do his thing on Friday night. And the thing about Fried is he's not overpowering. He's not striking out 12 guys. He only gave up one hit. He's a smart pitcher. He knows how to pitch. And I did notice that after Warren was pulled from the game, Garrett Cole was in the dugout. He was talking to him. Max Fried was talking to him. And I hope that they impart their wisdom on young Will Warren, because it's not just the coaches that help, it's the other pitchers. And, we said this last year when Cole was hurt. He can be a de facto pitching coach while he's healing from his Tommy John surgery and he's sitting in the dugout. He can help these young guys. So Max Fried had a Shabbat shutout on Friday night. Really, like, what else can you say about him? He's just been absolutely incredible. I enjoy watching him every time he comes out. Devin Williams, kind of liking him in the 8th inning spot because he's doing really well there. Devin Williams and Luke Weaver. I almost said Jeff Weaver. My brain just stopped for a second. I almost said Jeff Weaver. Forgive me, Luke Weaver, because you are not Jeff Weaver. Ugh. Luke Weaver combined for 2 scoreless and hitless innings. The Yankees only gave up 1 hit Friday night. It was Max Fried, and they won that game 3-0. Saturday's game, anyone else kind of know what was going to happen? Because I did. I had a feeling. I don't know why. I just had a feeling that the bullpen was going to screw up on Saturday and they were going to lose the lead. Volpe's injury was scary. As far as we know, MRI and X-ray went well. There's no new damage. I think they found older damage, and maybe he irritated it when he fell to, that was basically what started the game getting away from them in the 8th inning on Saturday. It was a winnable game, and I feel like these particular games, this game against the Rays, what is it with the Yankees losing to the Rays on Saturdays? Because it happened 3 weeks ago when they blew, or 2 weeks ago was it 3 weeks or 2 weeks? I don't know. What is time? When Devin Williams blew the lead and then they lost in extra innings. These are the types of games that will come back to bite you in the rear end at the end of the year when you're fighting and clawing for a playoff spot and you think back to 2 games where you had the lead, you had your better pitchers in, and it didn't work out. So overall, not a successful weekend. Hopefully the Yankees can recover, but they have the Padres coming in. We're going to talk about that in segment 3. And the Padres are doing really well. And when I tell you some of these numbers by the starters, you're going to think to yourself, oh boy, this is going to be a tough hill for the Yankees offense to climb. And that is true. Don't forget, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button on our videos, hit the notifications so you know when our videos go up. You can also join the Locked On Yankees Insiders Club. The link is in the description. You'll get text from us. You can text us questions, comments, reactions to trades and signings. We send out the lineups during the season, roster moves, and breaking news so you don't have to check social media. There's a 14-day free trial. Coming up, it's Miners Monday. So we'll tell you all about what's going on down on the farm next. Ever check your bank account and wonder, where did all my money go? Between dining out, online shopping, and entertainment, it's easy to lose track. That's where Monarch Money comes in, your personal CFO giving you full visibility and control over your finances. Monarch Money isn't just a budgeting app, it's a complete financial command center. You can track all your accounts, investments, and spending in one place, so you stop just managing your money and start building wealth. When I started using Monarch, I realized just how much I was spending on food delivery. Now I budget smarter and I save more. Instead of juggling multiple apps, you can use Monarch to check your finances, track spending, and even plan long-term goals. Managing money with your partner is also smoother than ever. You can track shared and personal accounts, set goals, and stay on the same page without the stress. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONMLB at Monarch Money for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONMLB for half off your first year. So we have a new way for you to submit your Fan Mail Friday questions on YouTube. You can go to our page and you scroll over to the posts tab and you'll find the post where you can leave your questions. This week's deadline is Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern. So get those questions in. All right, so it's time for Miners Monday. We have some exciting news. Now, no offense to Scranton. They won their series 4-2 over the Syracuse Mets, but no one really stood out for them, at least in my opinion, no offense, and we need to get to the next item. So good for Scranton for beating the Syracuse Mets, because that's always fun when the Yankees beat the Mets. But let's talk about Somerset. The big news on Sunday was that the Yankees are promoting shortstop George Lombard Jr. to Somerset. Lombard, who's 19, he's turning 20 in June, was batting .329, .496, .488. He had 1 home run, 13 runs batted in. He had 11 stolen bases, and he had a 23-22 walk to strikeout ratio. This is all per Jeff Passan of ESPN. So that was all at High A in Hudson Valley. Did a really good job with them. And now he will be with Somerset. It's amazing he's doing this at such a young age. You know, 496 on base percentage is really good, and the 11 stolen bases also very good. As for Somerset, without Lombard Jr., before he joined them, Spencer Jones leading the team in home runs with 9. He's still having issues with the strikeout, but that just might be the player that he is. Somerset split their series with Richmond 3-3. They were in Richmond. Their next series is against Akron, which is also on the road. Catcher Rafael Flores is leading the team with a .292 batting average as a regular. Flores also leads the team with 23 runs batted in. And just so you know, DJ LeMahieu, who's been playing with Somerset, has been playing second, not third, but second base. And with Jazz out for a while, I think you can expect when DJ comes back for him to be playing second base and not Oswald Peraza, maybe not even Jorbit Bibas, which would be really silly of the Yankees, but we know how the Yankees like to put their guys into the lineup. So we'll see how that goes. But the exciting news, George Lombard Jr. is just burning his way through the minors. He will be with Sunset for their series against Akron, which starts on Tuesday on the road. As for Hudson Valley, who Lombard just left, on Saturday, Bryce Cunningham, who we've talked about on this show, went 6 innings, gave up 1 run. It wasn't earned. Gave up 4 hits, walked 2, struck out 4. He has not allowed an earned run in his last 19 innings, so he's really doing well. And on Saturday, Hudson Valley walked off. Brenny Escanio, I hope I said your name right, got the walk-off hit. So exciting things for the middle levels, the AA and high A levels of the minors for the Yankees. And in Tampa, they scored 12 runs on back-to-back days after struggling to score runs for most of the season so far. They actually entered Sunday's play tied for last in the Florida State League in runs, and then they just exploded. And also, speaking of Tampa, rehabbing down there, Jonathan Loaisiga reached 96 miles per hour on the gun. That was on Sunday. And he also generated 9 whiffs on 19 pitches. So his pitches are working well. Now, apparently, because Tampa is not playing on the main field because the Tampa Bay Rays are usually playing there. And even when Tampa's on the road, the Tampa Tarpons are not playing on the field. They're playing on the secondary field. They don't keep the stats as much. Like, it's not as easy for them to do because it's not great for them. And it's not easy to keep track of everything. So the people getting reports from Loaisiga's outing, thank you to you guys for letting everyone know how he's doing. Again, I think he's on track for end of May at this point because he's still down with single A. It would be really nice to have his arm back in the bullpen because when he's healthy, and we spoke about this last week, when he's healthy, he's really good, but he just cannot stay healthy. And that's a big problem. Quickly, I'm going to look at some of the comments. Do you have any questions about any of the minors stuff that I just told you? Although I'm not really an expert at this stuff. It's hard to keep track. There's so much to do. And there are specific people online who have blogs. I've told you guys in the past, I'll say it again. I get my information from Tom Kaczynski. Look him up, Google him. You'll find him right away. He is so thorough with his information about every level of the Yankees farm system. He's amazing. It's where I get most of my information from. Junior Mafia asks, what's the word on Volpe? The word is MRI was clean, X-ray was clean. I didn't see any news about an IL trip. I'm hoping that that's the case, that he doesn't have to go on the IL. You never know. I think they said that they did find older damage in his shoulder when they did the X-ray, but there was nothing new there. So maybe he just aggravated it. I don't know if anyone else has had a bum shoulder, but I did about 12 years ago. For 6 months, I had a bum shoulder, and man, I think I know the pain that he felt when he landed on it wrong, and it is white out pain that I can't even describe how bad it is. It's like you get hit by a lightning bolt. You lose your vision. Everything turns white. And it's probably the most painful thing you'll ever feel. So I felt for him there when I saw him do that. I thought to myself, oof, that's really not a good thing. Should we talk more about how awesome George Lombard Jr. is? He's turning 20 on June 2nd. He was born June 2nd, 2005, about a month after Robinson Cano was called up by the Yankees. How old does that make you all feel? Because that makes me feel old. Because Robinson Cano was very young when the Yankees called him up, and now he's 42. So maybe someday we'll be saying the same thing about George Lombard Jr., right? I remember when George Lombard Jr. was called up to the Yankees in 2026. I still don't think we'll see him in 2025, unless something catastrophic happens to the infield, which hopefully that won't happen. But I think 2026 is definitely a possibility for George Lombard Jr. Mark G73, do you think Arenado is still a possibility? I don't. I really don't. I think the problem with the Yankees is they have too many. It's funny. It always seems like they don't have players for third base, but they do. They have four guys that can play third base right now on the roster. You also have DJ LeMahieu down with Somerset. And I really think DJ LeMahieu is the reason why they didn't get Arenado. If DJ LeMahieu had decided in the offseason, I'm going to retire, I can't play anymore, I get hurt all the time, the Yankees probably would have gone after Nolan Arenado. I think DJ LeMahieu is the holdup. I really do. I could be wrong. Obviously, I could be very wrong, but I really do. I think that he's the reason why they're not getting Arenado. And I think it would be interesting to see how he would do as a Yankee. He's not awful right now with the Cardinals, but, he's not exactly burning things up. And I am curious to dream up how he could have done if he did come to the Yankees. It was with Goldschmidt. He's in a lineup that has Aaron Judge. Where would he bat? Like, it's a whole thing that could be interesting. Hold on one second. Wish your take on DJ. Do you really care for his return? I feel bad because DJ LeMahieu did great things for the Yankees and for the fans, right? When he first came over. But I think it was inflated by the juiced ball because who expected DJ LeMahieu to do what he was doing, or Gleyber Torres? And I think these guys were hurt by that. And then DJ LeMahieu just kept getting injured over and over again. And, he's not the player that he was in 2019, 20, and even 2021. And I feel bad for him because, he wants to come back and contribute. It's just his body's not letting him. Do I want him to come back and be in the lineup? If he can hit, yes. But if he can't hit, I don't want him taking up space because you could put other people in there who could possibly hit. I also, if Volpe's going to be out for a couple of days and they don't want to put him on the IL, put Peraza at short. Let him hit. I don't like that Peraza is getting slammed by people because he's not getting hits. He's not playing. We say this all the time on the show. I've said it myself. My former co-host Steve has said it. Brian has said it. We say it till we're blue in the face. Baseball is a game of routine. If you're putting a guy in once or twice a week, how is he going to hit the ball? It's not the same as taking batting practice. You need game time to get into a rhythm. You can't expect Oswald Peraza to get into a rhythm if he's only playing every 3 or 4 days. So if Volpe is not feeling well, I want Peraza playing shortstop. Can someone on the Yankees listen to me, please? I know I'm not an expert, but I've been watching baseball for over 40 years, and I just think that they need to give him more of a chance or trade him and let him get a chance with another team. This is the perfect opportunity for you to give Oswald Peraza an actual shot to play. So do it. Thank you. All right. Coming up, we'll preview the series with the San Diego Padres, weather permitting, next. Scaling your business requires the right expertise at the right time. With Upwork, you can find specialized freelancers in marketing, development, design, and more. Experts ready to help you take your business to the next level. Upwork gives businesses flexibility by connecting them with top freelance talent across multiple industries, including IT, AI, web development, and marketing. Whether you need extra hands for a project or a long-term partner, Upwork makes hiring simple and affordable. If you need help with a marketing campaign, Upwork can connect you with a freelance expert who delivers incredible results. Posting a job is free and simple, and within a day with multiple candidates to choose from. Instead of hiring full-time, Upwork helps find affordable top free freelancers to scale my business efficiently. Visit Upwork.com right now to post your job for free. That's UPWORK.com, Upwork.com, to connect with top talent and grow your business today. Thank you for making... That's not the right thing. Sorry, I'm looking at the wrong thing. Not only do we cover your team every day, but now we're giving you instant episodes after every single game. Check out the Locked On Yankees postcast hosted by Jay Berman right here on the Locked On Yankees podcast feed. Get rapid reaction to all the biggest moments with the Locked On Yankees postcast. I was doing so well, and then I had to mess that up. Okay, so the Yankees are welcoming the really good Padres into Yankee Stadium for a 3-game set, weather permitting. I don't know. The weather forecast says it's going to be raining for the next 5 or 6 days here in New York, so we'll see how that goes. And, really would have been nice if the people in charge of building stadiums would have put a roof on new Yankee Stadium. Also, Citi Field, to be honest, both of them should have had roofs because... You know how the weather in the Northeast was when you built those stadiums, people. I don't know why you wouldn't put a roof on. I feel like every baseball stadium. I know it's not traditional, but we're living in different times now. And I think that every baseball stadium should have either a fixed roof or a retractable roof, right? I don't know. Does that make me crazy? I don't know. But I think that that's not a bad thing to have. At least a retractable roof, right? All right, so Monday night, Carlos Rodon against Nick Pivetta. Nick Pivetta is 5-1 with a 1.78 ERA. Good Lord. Nick Pivetta, who was with the Red Sox, right? I'm remembering him from the Red Sox. Was he that good when he was with the Red Sox? Because I don't think he was. I really don't think he was. So Carlos Rodon is 4-3 with a 3.43 ERA. Maybe we should play those numbers in some sort of lotto. If the game's played right now at 125, as far as I know, the game is not canceled yet, but we'll see how that goes. On Tuesday, it's Clark Schmidt against old friend Michael King, who is also doing really well for the Padres. Clark Schmidt, 0-1 with a 5.52 ERA. Michael King, 2-1 with a 2.09 ERA. I understand you were trading for Juan Soto, and Juan Soto did great things for the Yankees last season, but wouldn't you guys love to have Michael King in the rotation right now instead of Carlos Carrasco, instead of Will Warren, instead of Marcus Stroman when he was healthy? I think so. I think so. Good for Michael King. I'm happy that he's doing well. I just don't want him to do well against the Yankees, which is normal, right? On Wednesday, Max Fried, the aforementioned Max Fried, who has been absolutely unbelievable against Dylan Cease, who has not been unbelievable. Max Fried is 6-0 with a 1.10 ERA. Incredible. Dylan Cease, on the other hand, is 1-2 with a 5.61 ERA. So he is having issues so far this season. How do I think the series will go? I don't know. Because the past two series, I thought the Yankees would do all right because the two teams that they were facing weren't doing all right. So maybe this will be one of those reverse lock series where you think the Yankees aren't going to do well and they actually do. But you never know because the Padres are doing really well. And the Yankees are not exactly sputtering, but they're not inspiring confidence right now after the last two series against their AL East opponents. So we'll see how everything goes. So how are we doing? Chat, let's talk. We're going to extend this for a few minutes. I will edit this out so the listeners on the audio platforms won't hear this, and I will edit everything together. But how do you guys think the Yankees are going to do? See, Junior Mafia, I like your optimism. I don't think it's possible. I don't think that's possible, but I do like your optimism. Junior Mafia says Yankees sweep, even put the broom emoji in there, which pretty cool. Padres coming up. Wait, Alex Renteria. They'll take 2 out of 3 in New York. So you mean the Padres will take 2 out of 3 in New York, and you wouldn't be surprised if they sweep? I'm assuming that's what you mean. Yes, Junior Mafia, I promise you will get a shout out if the Yankees sweep this series. I will. I will write this down. Actually, I'm going to write it down right now in our rundown. And I will make it's in bold letters, underlined, everything. So I remember. Because you would deserve a shout out if they do. If Yanks sweep. See, I'm doing it for you. Debbie says, still dreaming of that pitching group we were supposed to have. By the way, on that note, what's doing with Heel? As far as I know, everything's going okay with Heel. He started his throwing program last week. I haven't heard anything bad about it. So let's just all cross our fingers that everything goes the way it's supposed to go and he comes back at some point next month. Hopefully before the All-Star break. That would be great. We'll see how that goes. Tell me your thoughts about this weekend, by the way. If you were as annoyed and as frustrated as I was watching on Sunday, just because it felt like it could be a winnable game if Will Warren could just get things together. Oh, okay, good, Alex. Alex said, yes, that's what I meant. Now your prediction. I think the Yankees will win Max Fried's start. There's my prediction. I don't know about Rodon. I'm just worried about the Nick Pivetta thing. I'm worried about the Yankees offense just looking absolutely horrible against Nick Pivetta, right? Isn't everyone else worried about the Yankees offense looking absolutely terrible against Nick Pivetta? Yeah, I just don't understand how he's doing that well. That's really good. Not as good as Max Fried, who's 6-0 with a 1.10 ERA, but 5-1 with a 1.78 ERA is incredible. So, good for him, but I really want the Yankees to do something against him. I would like Rodon to have another good start, and I just hope that things go well for the Yankees. Again, the weather is very iffy. I don't know how things are going to work out. Today was supposed to be really bad. It's possible that tonight's game, as I record this Monday afternoon, it's possible that tonight's game gets postponed. But the weather doesn't look much better Tuesday and Wednesday. So I don't know how they're going to work around that. There is an off day on Thursday, but the Yankees are heading out west. They need that day for travel. They can't have a game made up on that day. And who knows about the Padres even having a mutual day off. So I don't know how that's going to work. Oh, thank you. I don't want to say your name wrong. We'll say B more. Stacey listening from California. Have a good day. Go Yankees. Thank you from California. I had someone get in touch with me on Blue Sky. Where did he live again? Was it I think it was the Netherlands who listens to this show. I find that incredible. When I went to college, I thought I was going to be on the radio because, it was the 90s. There weren't podcasts. And I thought that only people in a small radius would hear me. And to know that people literally across the world listen to this show, listen to me and Brian talk 5 days a week is amazing to me. And we appreciate all of you helping us out. It's really fun doing this show. I get to do what I love. I talk about the Yankees 5 days a week. Now, I don't love watching them lose, and I don't like having to talk about that, but I'm lucky that I get to do this, and I have you guys helping us and supporting us, and it's really great. Let me see if I missed any comments. I don't think I did, but let's see. Yeah. No more comments? Come on, guys. There are like 45 of you in here. Like I said, I'm extending this just for you guys, and then I'm going to quickly edit this so the audio people don't have to hear me yapping. Because it's not it's not fun for the people on the audio side to hear us chat with people, but on the video side, it's easier for this to be happening. Actually, there was a stat that I saw and I took a picture of it, but I forgot to make an image for the show. But hello, Thomas Crowley from Wilmington, Delaware. Okay, so River Avenue Blues posted this on Blue Sky. I'm assuming they also posted this on Twitter. I still call it Twitter. I'm not calling it the other thing. Turn every one of Aaron Judge's 11 home runs into an out, and he would still be hitting 338, 438, 438. That would be his batting line. So he would still be hitting over 330 if you took all of his home runs and turned them into outs. That's how well Aaron Judge is doing in 2025. It is amazing to watch him do that. I don't understand it. It's mind-boggling to me how it seems like he's just getting better and better. Hello, Eric. Insider Eric. Missed the podcast. How much longer do you think Will Warren stays? I mean, I guess until more healthy arms show up. Stroman had a setback with his knee, so he's not coming back right away. Heel is a long way off still. So Will Warren's he's going to have to stay. They can't really do anything with him. And there aren't really options in Scranton to bring up either. So yeah, I think it's Will Warren for the foreseeable future. Mark G says, living in Central Florida, Rays games are blacked out. Really? I don't understand the whole blackout thing. I really don't. I don't try to watch other games. I sometimes get the message like, this isn't available in your market. So I guess that's a blackout thing. What was I trying to watch? I think it was the Red Sox against someone. because it said it in my TV guide because we have direct TV stream. And I thought, oh, cool, I can watch the Red Sox. And then it said, this isn't available in your area. And I said, well, why is it in the guide if I can't see it in my area? That seems rude. But yeah, the whole blackout thing is ridiculous. Just let people watch baseball no matter where they live. Like if you want to watch a Cubs game and you live in Iowa, you should be able to do that. If you live in Idaho and you want to watch a Yankee game, you should be able to do that. Like you should just be able to watch whatever you want to watch. If you like baseball and you want to watch as many baseball games as possible, MLB should make it easier for you to do so. I think that's ridiculous. And I don't understand why the people who run this league want to make it worse for people. So coming up later this week, there was a report or an article written, I believe it was last week in The Athletic, that said umpires were basically admitting that the strike zone has changed and that it's favoring some people and not favoring others. And then Baseball Prospectus came out with an article on Monday, basically proving that theory. So we might have to talk about that later in the week, because I don't know if you guys have noticed, there were a couple of calls on Sunday with Alfonso Marquez behind the plate that were very questionable. There was a ball, I keep saying that, there was a pitch that Will Warren threw that was a strike. It was a clear strike. There was no doubt about it. It was not quite in the middle of the zone, but it was clearly in the zone. And Marquez threw it, called it a ball because Escara kind of changed his glove. But the thing about it, and Jeff Nelson pointed this out, Marquez was literally above Escara. He could see the pitch. He was right there. There was no excuse for that man to call that a ball. And I think the Yankees dugout actually said something to him, because I recall him turning to them and barking at them. And then I think he made up for the call later in the at-bat. But there is something going on with the strike zone. So I'm going to investigate and look at these articles and see if it's worth a discussion later in the week, like maybe on the off day, because the Yankees are heading out to the West Coast. So let me know if you guys are interested in that. And let us know in the comments if there's a specific thing you want us to talk about besides recapping the games and previewing. Like if there's anything that you need to know about a certain player and you want us to talk about, let us know, because I miss some things. Brian misses some things. There's so much information going on and so many things happening that there might be a specific thing that we miss that you guys would like us to talk about. So let us know in the comments below on YouTube. If you're on audio, I'm actually pointing down for people to leave comments. So yeah, just let us know if you want us to talk about anything, and we will, because we do this for you guys. We want you to be part of the show. That's why we do Fan Mail Friday. We involve you guys in that way. And if you guys have a specific subject that you want us to talk about, we can do that too. And we'll credit you, because you help us out every day by listening and watching us. So thank you for making Locked On Yankees your first listen today. For your second listen, check out the all-new Locked On MLB Game Night. Every game, every night, all season long, you get local analysis on a national scale. You can find MLB Game Night on Locked On MLB on YouTube or wherever you listen to your podcasts. So again, thank you for joining me for this live edition of Locked On Yankees. Brian will be back tomorrow, Tuesday, because it's Monday as I record this. And we'll be talking about if, the Yankees and Padres end up playing on Monday night. We'll be talking about that game and previewing the next two, possibly more in depth. So again, thank you for joining me for this live edition of Locked On Yankees. I'm Stacey Gotsulias, and I will see you tomorrow.